like to welcome everyone and thank you for coming to our Afternoons with IPCRI event. A series of public lectures used to be held in the Ambassador Hotel in Jerusalem. We have since reached out, or we are in the process of reaching out. The first in the new series of lectures was done about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago in Kiryat Shmona. We had one in Bet Ha'am in Tel Aviv, and this is the second one in Tel Aviv, and there are going to be some more in Palestine soon. And these lectures are made possible due to the generous support of the Dutch government, which we are very grateful for. The issue of Palestinian Hamas Fatah reconciliation is on the table again. It's been coming and going for quite a few years now since the split. Today we have a panel that I'm going to introduce in a few minutes. My name is Dan Goldenblatt. I'm the co-director of IPCRI for the past year. And my partner, Rayman Barakat, the Palestinian co-director, is sitting here with us as well. A few points about the history of the conflict, which many of us know, but anyway, I'm going to touch on a few brief points. The tensions started rising after the passing of the Rais, President Yasser Arafat, who died in November 2004. In January 2006, the Hamas won the elections to the Palestinian Legislative Council, taking 74 out of 132 seats. Israel, the US, the EU, and other Western countries imposed sanctions and suspended all foreign aid to the Palestinian Authority led by the Hamas. In December 2006, fighting broke out in the West Bank between Fatah and Hamas. Several ceasefire attempts failed. In February 2007, the parties met in Mecca and reached a ceasefire, which was shortly after that broken again repeatedly. Over the years, in 2008 in Yemen, and then in 2010 in Cairo, attempts to sign permanent long-term agreements or ceasefires to reconcile the parties failed time and time again. On the 27th of April 2011, representatives of the two factions announced an agreement mediated by Egypt to form a joint caretaker government with presidential and legislative elections to be held in 2012, which is coming to an end next week, or 10 days, and was signed by President Abbas and Khalid Mashal, the head of the political wing of the Hamas. The accord provides for forming a transitional government of technocrats to prepare for legislative and presidential elections in the PA in 1 year. It also permits the entry of Hamas into the PLO and holding elections to the PNC, the Palestinian National Council. The PA continues to handle security in the West Bank, and the Hamas is supposed to continue managing security in Gaza. A joint security committee was set to be formed to decide the future of security arrangements. Israel objected to this agreement because the Hamas still calls for the destruction of Israel, and the US demanded that the new Palestinian government would recognize Israel, continue and honor previous agreements with it, and renounce violence. These talks also fell apart over the Hamas's refusal to the appointment of Dr. Salam Fayyad to the position of the Prime Minister of the technocrat government. The Doha deal, signed by Mahmoud Abbas and Khalid Mashal in 2012, was described as a step forward in the stalled implementation of the Palestinian Reconciliation Agreement, signed in Cairo in April 2010. On the 1st of April, the reconciliation implementation was described as stalling, with no progress on the joint election scheme. In addition, the Fatah blamed Hamas and its security forces that set up roadblocks and arrested many Hamas members and individuals in Gaza whom were accused of spreading rumors. In a letter of Benjamin Netanyahu in April 2012, to Benjamin Netanyahu 2012, Abbas expressed his regrets that Israel continued to oppose to the reconciliation. And then we had the 7-day second Gazan war that started on the 14th of November with the targeted killing of the commander of Azzedine al-Qassam brigades, Ahmed Jabari. There are many implications of this war, intended and unintended, that are not insignificant. But to mention just a few, most significant is bringing Egypt back into a center stage as a player, and strengthening the Sunni axis, and putting or causing a rift between Hamas and Iran, and many renewed calls for a Hamas-Fatah reconciliation. To discuss the implications and the pros and cons and probabilities of such a reconciliation, we have three speakers here. Dr. Sufian Abu Zaida, a member of the Fatah, was a Minister of Prisoner Affairs in the government from February 2005 to March 2006. Between December 2005 and March 2006, he also served as Minister of Civil Affairs. He holds a BA in Sociology and Political Science from Al-Azhar University in Gaza, a Master in Conflict Resolution from Bradford University in England, and a PhD in Middle Eastern Politics from Exeter University in England. He is currently the Executive Director of the Gaza Institute for Political and Strategic Studies. Arnon Regular. Mr. Regular served as Palestinian Territories correspondent between 1992 and 2006 for the Haaretz daily newspaper. Today, he researches and consults organizations and NGOs active in the West Bank and Gaza. And Dr. Gershon Baskin, the founder and current chairman of IPCRI, my predecessor as co-CEO of IPCRI from its founding. Gershon has been deeply involved in the conflict and attempts to resolve it for over 2 decades. He was the key interlocutor in the Gilad Shalit deal and attempted to broker a ceasefire between the Hamas and the Israeli government that ended with the targeted killing of Jabari. He's probably, without a doubt, the Israeli civilian with the highest highest level and best quality connections and contacts within the Hamas. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Sufian, I'd like to start with you.
No, start with Gershon. Start with Gershon. He has a news for us.
Okay, I'll start with that.